Today our goal is pretty simple. We're trying to build a deck that never loses to Is It Prowess and also makes it so our Elspeths can never die. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron and one of the questions that I've been getting a ton lately is, what if you tried to build a deck that was solely focused on beating the Is It Prowess decks? Right now, Is It Prowess is like 30% of the meta or something in Standard. It's a ridiculous percent. Corey Steelcutter is everywhere. So that's what we're going to do today. We are playing Elspeth Deification, a deck that I think should hopefully crush the Corey Steelcutter decks. Plus, it's got some super sweet spice with a card that I really like that I kind of forgot even existed. So let's talk about our Elspeth Deification deck, how it's beating Corey Steelcutter, what it's trying to do, jump into some games, see the deck in action. So as I mentioned before, right now in Standard, there is one card that stands out above the entire meta, and that is Corey Steelcutter. Not gonna explain it, I'm sure you know what this card does. It makes a ton of monks. It kills you super quick, really tough to deal with because even if you deal with the Corey Steelcutter, the tokens left behind or vice versa. So our goal today is twofold. First, we're trying not to lose to the Is It Prowess deck. So what are we playing to make it so we hopefully never lose to Corey Steelcutter? And there's really three big cards. Card number one, Authority of the Consuls, just slows down aggro by making creatures enter tap, which means even if our opponent gets a Corey Steelcutter and they start triggering it, well, at least their tokens are going to be tapped, so they don't get to smash us with them right away. Plus, we get to gain some life when creatures enter under our opponent's control. The real one, though, is High Noon. High Noon's the card that if Corey Steelcutter decks can deal with it, it just beats them by itself. It makes each player only cast one spell each turn, which means essentially you can never trigger Corey Steelcutter because you can never trigger Flurry, you can never cast your second spell. So this is a card that, yes, they could have Into the Floodmaw or some sort of bounce spell to get off the battlefield, but if our opponent can't answer this card, it just literally beats the Prowess decks pretty much by itself. Card number three, Temporary Lockdown. This is just the cleanest answer to Corey Steelcutter and the tokens. We were talking earlier about how Corey Steelcutter is so hard to interact with because even if you blow up the Corey Steelcutter with an Abrade or something, your opponent's probably still got at least one, maybe two tokens on the battlefield. They got Prowess, they get really big, they're still killing you. Temporary Lockdown just exiles everything mana value 2 or less. A little bit awkward with our Authority of the Consuls and High Noon, so we try to get the timing right on those, but it gets rid of Corey Steelcutter, and it gets rid of any tokens left over on the battlefield, and honestly, most of the rest of the Prowess deck too. So hopefully these cards will buy us an infinite amount of time against the Prowess decks to kill our opponent at our leisure. We also have some good removal. Get Lost, Lightning Helix, kill stuff early, gains us some life, and then we get to the fun part of the deck. So I have been wanting to build a Deification deck for a long time. This came out in March of the Machine's Aftermath, I believe. Deification, 2-mana enchantment. When it enters, you choose a Planeswalker type, basically a Planeswalker name. Planeswalkers you control of the chosen type have hexproof, and as long as you control a creature, if damage is dealt to the Planeswalker, the lowest it can go on loyalty is down to 1. So essentially, as long as we keep a creature on the battlefield, our Planeswalker of the type that we choose is essentially unkillable. I guess an Edict could get it or something, but our opponent can't target it. They can't kill it by attacking it because it's only going to go to 1 loyalty. And this card works really well with Elspeths. We have 2 Elspeths now in the format, and each of those Elspeths happen to make tokens, so they provide the creature that Deification needs to stay turned on so our opponent can't target our Planeswalkers. So our finishing plan for this deck is we play Deification, and then we play Archangel Elspeth, start making lifelinking tokens. Eventually we play Elspeth Stormslayer, start doubling our tokens, making even more tokens, and now we can just eventually make a big board, use Elspeth Stormslayer to give all of our creatures flying, swing in for one big attack and win the game. So that's the fun Deification part of the deck. Rounding out the deck, we got some Caretaker's Talents for card advantage. Also, another finisher. We can just level it up, make all of our Elspeth tokens into 3/3s, hopefully kill with one big attack. Mana base, pretty straightforward. A bunch of Boros lands, Fountain Port to make even more tokens. And that is Elspeth Deification, and that's our deck that will hopefully never lose to the Is It Prowess deck. So let's jump into some games and see if Elspeth and Deification and a bunch of Staxy enchantments might be the solution to the Corey Steelcutter problem in Standard. So thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be back in a bit for the wrap-up. Need some Magic cards? Well, you can snag them from our sponsor, Card Kingdom, over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. Want to help out the channel? Well, you can snag these super sweet new dice, playmats tokens, and more over at mtdgoldfishmerch.com. It is Elspeth Deification time. We are trying to never lose to Prowess. I don't know if we're ever going to beat anything else, but our goal today is simple. Never lose to Prowess, and also do Elspeth Deification shenanigans. This hand, I like it if we draw our lands. About it. Monastery Swift Spear. Getting in with the Swift Spear hits us down to 19. Well, land, and I guess we'll play an Authority of the Consuls, which is good, is one of our anti-Prowess cards. About it. Land. And there's the Corey Steelcutter. Well, we're going to need lands, and we're going to need temporary lockdowns. Bona gets in, hits us. Well, there's a land. You know what? Let's play this Deification on Elspeth, be a little greedy. If we just can hit our lands and play our Elspeths, that's also kind of good. We do need to find a temporary lockdown sooner or later, because while this Authority of the Consuls is going to slow down the Corey Steelcutter, we don't have High Noon. We don't have we're going to need a reset, basically. We're going to need to reset the board. Opponent. Reverberating Summons. Man, a High Noon would be so good against this deck. I mean, we have a full play set of High Noons. We just don't have one in hand. Oh boy. Well, thankfully the Corey Steelcutter triggers before the end of the Flood Maw. They do get to turn on this 3/3. They get in for $1 million. Hit us. Down to 12. We draw a tap land. We'll play the tap land, play the Authority of the Consuls. I do not know if we're going to be fast enough here. Land. Trying to build a deck to never lose his Corey Steelcutter, and then losing to Corey Steelcutter right away would be a little disappointing. Opponent going to Burst Lightning our face. Attack. Well, I mean, we will get lost the Corey Steelcutter token. And attempt to chump the Swift Spear. See if it actually works. It could have Monstrous Rage. Alright, well, the chumping works. Opponent. Gonna do a little map cracking. Keeps it on top. And passes. Caretaker's Talent, eh? Well, I mean, we're gonna play an Elspeth. And make a 1/1 lifelinker. Another Into the Flood Maw on the Authority of the Consuls would be scary. Just the Swift Spear's not that scary with Authority of the Consuls out, because it's gonna be tapped. And we get to gain a life. And wow, all right. Discard Strut. Maybe we're stabilizing. Are we stabilizing? I still feel like we're going to need the temporary lockdown. If we can hit the temporary lockdown. Opponent grows the Dorks. Going face. Well, we will block with a token, gain a little life. Ooh, Lightning Helix. Okay, that's actually pretty good. Well, let's make a lifelink token. Land for our opponent. Gonna level up. Well, I think we just blow up the Storm Chaser's Talent. We don't really want them getting a spell back. And then they're gonna crack the map, so in response, let's Lightning Helix the Corey Steelcutter token. Back up to 17. Okay, wait, maybe we do never actually lose to Corey Steelcutter. This has not even been, like, our best cards for this matchup. Opponent takes up. Man, we're one land away from Big Elspeth, too. We're one land away, and we're at 17. Opponent combat going face. Ugh, well, okay. In that case, I guess we have to play the Caretaker's Talent. Take up the Elspeth. Draw a card. Another Deification. Well, let's copy the token. I mean, we're still at 17. We're still at 17. Ooh, stock up. That's a good one. Opponent. Gonna do some stocking up. Opponent. And, alright, gonna Burst Lightning one of the tokens. Yeah, this is not the best turn ever for us. Opponent. Gonna crack the map. Top card, Slick Shot Show Off. I mean, we got a block. That's a lot of Prowess triggers. Alright, there's the Monstrous Rage. Yeah, well, we are running out of time. Found it. Hits us to 3. We draw a Fountain Port. Well, play the land. Play Big Elspeth. Finally. Take up Elspeth. Make 2 tokens. Draw a card. There's the High Noon. Ugh. Hell yeah, I mean, make some tokens. I don't think it's going to be enough, though, because of the trample on Monastery Swift Spear. I think we're going to end up, oh man, just short. Oh, in the matchup that we really didn't want to lose. Gonna plot the Swift Spear. We block, we block, we block, we block. Opponent passes. Take up the Elspeth, draw a card. Okay, there's all the high noons. So let's play a high noon. Take up the Elspeth, pass the turn. We're still dead to our opponent just drawing a spell because of the Swift Spear with trample. All right, slick shot, show off. That's actually fine. That's fine. That doesn't kill. They can't play another spell now because of high noon. If we can find temporary lockdown, opponent combat, block, and sack a token, draw a card. Temporary lockdown, please. Another Elspeth. So he dropped to 2 again. Well, let's take up Elspeth, make 2 tokens. Draw a card. Take up Elspeth. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Opponent. I'm gonna move over the Corey Steelcutter. Attacks. Oh my goodness. Okay, this was not what I was expecting. So opponent's just gonna attack with 1 creature. That means we can get lost it and live for another turn. Opponent, another slick shot show off. Yeah, we will just untap. We draw a tap land. So Elspeth, make 2 tokens, draw a card. I mean, this has been a ridiculous game. Another Deification, play Restless Bivouac, and let's 0 Elspeth and pass the turn. I mean, now we have 8 Power of Lifelinkers. I am scared of a Burst Lightning off the top. That would be deadly. Found it. Gonna crack a map. If things go super wrong, we can high noon. Wow, this has been a ridiculous game. Usually games against Prowess are not this interesting. Found it. Map number 2, top card. Another land, okay. And opponent scoops it up. Oh my goodness. Elspeth Deification taking down the Prowess deck. I mean, honestly, we built this deck not to lose to Prowess. That was looking very scary, though. Like, we never hit a temporary lockdown in 23 cards. We drew 1,000,000 Deifications, which we really want a Deification, but 1,000,000 Deifications, a little scary, but in the end, Elspeths and Elspeths, unkillable Elspeths, hexproof Elspeths, apparently enough, sweet. We are playing some more Elspeth Deification, trying to build a deck that never loses to Prowess, and, well, I will say, this hand, no temporary lockdown, but if we're up against Prowess, you better look out, because this hand actually looks pretty good. Authority of the Console's good, High Noon's good. Eventually, we're probably going to want to reset, but, well, let's see what our opponent's up to. Mono red, eh? Well, okay. The good news is, cards that are good against Prowess are also not bad against mono red for the most part. Oh, it is Prowess. All right, opponent. Storm Chaser's talent. Well, let's see how they like a high noon. Let's slow things down. Only 1 spell a turn. No Corey Steel Cutting for you, opponents. Wow! Does that count as a turn 2 kill? I think that counts as a turn 2 kill. All right. All is going to plan so far. Keep attempting to Prowess us, fools. And, all right, we'll keep this. This hand's a little scattered, but we got the Deification to go with our Elspeths, should we find them. Temporary lockdown, not bad. Caretaker's talent, we got no token production yet, but sooner or later. Well, that's a lot of temporary lockdowns. Well, play the Deification. Unfortunately, not up against a Prowess deck. I'm unreasonably scared of the Omniscience deck. I don't think we ever beat the Omniscience deck. I don't know. Iron Crag. Oh, maybe this is like an artifact deck. Well, play the land, and I guess we just Caretaker's talent. Oh, what do we do about Simulacrum Synthesizer? I guess temporary lockdown can slow down the constructs temporarily. United Battlefront, spin it to win it, spin it to win it. Ay, 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 ay. Alright. Life was good, but now it's bad. Repurposing Bay and Simulacrum Synthesizer. That's a decent turn 3. Opponent gonna scry 1 to the top and a construct. We draw land. We'll play the land. Oh, get lost. Can't get lost this stuff. Yeah, I mean, I guess we just have to temporary lockdown. We lose our deification, but we can't just let them... That's not even that good. We can't just let them repurposing Bay into another synthesizer. Cryptic Coat. Gonna make some constructs. We need that new Wrath. We need that new Wrath. We need the Ultima. The Ultima would solve this problem. Opponent. Clay-fired bricks. I mean, we can temporary lockdown again, but it doesn't even really do a ton here. Braided net. Like, we can temporary lockdown just to reset the constructs for a turn, but they still have all of their pieces, and they get another synthesizer. Well, I mean, we're going to make a fish, try to block, draw a card. They can braided net to get in the damage. Yup. Ooh, another land. Well, we dropped to 9. Oh, even more lands. Well, 1, 2. I think we're just dead here. Sack the fish, draw a card. Ooh, 3 lands. Okay, that's a lot of lands in a row. Well, we can temporary lockdown to very temporarily stay alive. Unfortunately, the Simulacrum Synthesizer, if we can't kill it, it is going to kill us. And we can't kill it. So it is going to kill us. Oh, God, Perilous Snare. All right, good enough. Good enough, opponent, good enough. Well, that's not the matchup we're built for. We know one of the downsides of building specifically to beat the Prowess decks is there's going to be some costs in other matchups where we draw a lot of temporary lockdowns that maybe aren't doing the most, but that is life when you focus on the deck that's at the top of the meta. All right, opponent. Prowess us. That just seems like a uniquely hard matchup because we just don't really have artifact removal. I'm surprised no one's played Deification with Elspeth because it's pretty obviously supposed to be an Elspeth card. Like, you can see it in the art. It was printed way before the Elspeths, but it is pretty sweet. Like, having an unkillable Elspeth, sooner or later, the Elspeth is going to win you the game. About it. Inspiring Vantage. Well, let's play the Surveil land. Keep the planes past the turn. Opponent, tap land. Well, I mean, let's get down to Deification. Deification on Elspeth. Land on Dinosaur. And a face down card. Well, play the land past the turn. That's interesting. The Ward 2 is actually kind of annoying because otherwise we'd be able to kill it, but... Opponent. To the bottom. You want to flip it so we can do a little killing of the face down card? White mana face down card. The elephant that like blinks when you flip it up. I could see that. Well, there's a high noon. I mean, we're just going to get down on Elspeth here. Start making some tokens. And take it up. Make a 1/1. So because of Deification, Elspeth, hexproof, and essentially it can't take lethal damage. It'll only go as long as we have a creature. Oh. Well, that's a problem. All right, Breaching Dragonstorm into a tally. Into, oh my sweet mother. All right. Oh, big Elspeth. That's unfortunate. And gets to blink the tally. Well, I guess we're probably dead. Opponent. Elspeth number 2. Into a Breaching Dragonstorm and a Lightning Helix. Oh my god. Found it. Helix. Our phase. I mean, I imagine that this is supposed to be a combo deck where if they do the thing, they don't whiff. Opponent into a Trumpeting Carnosaur. Well, you know what would have solved all of this? Literally all of this was playing High Noon last turn. None of this would have happened. Found it. More Carnosaurs. Yeah, I don't think we can beat this. And opponent spins into a Scroll Shift. Not sure why they're Flanking the Dragonstorm. Wouldn't a tally be better? But okay, opponent. Into another tally. Yeah, should have played the High Noon. Famous last words. Opponent. Alright, good enough. Yes, you had your fun, opponent. You had your fun. Well, High Noon, the hero that we deserve that we didn't play. I guess, I mean, in my defense, how was I supposed to know that that's what our opponent was up to? It didn't look like we were about to just lose the game there. Well, all right, we're going to play first. This hand could be good. This hand is going to lose to Prowess if it's Prowess, which is sad, but this hand could be good, assuming we hit our land drops, which is anyone's guess. Well, Deification on Elspeth. I mean, we got the Deification, we got double Elspeth. Will we get to cast the Elspeth? Opponent. Oh, it's Omniscient, so, all right. Well, well. Bad news. Even if we do get to cast the Elspeth, it is not going to matter. Okay, we will, I guess, temporary lockdown. A little awkward since we're going to eat our Deification, but we're not doing anything else. Yeah, so we are in the worst position against Omniscience, which is our only out is to try to kill the Omniscience, and that plan works like 2% of the time. Maybe not even. It might be 1%. Like, it has happened before. It has happened before, I swear. But then I've tried to do it many times, and it almost never works. They just have so many counters that the odds of it actually working are very low. Stocks up, draws a bunch more cards, discards another Omniscience, we'll play a tap land, and pass the turn to our demise. Opponent's gonna wait. They don't have it yet. Well, we will pass the turn. The sad thing is, even with 2 get lost in hand, even if we survive the Omniscience, it's not like we just win the game. Our opponent's at 18. But a Meringue River Regent. Gonna draw some cards. Gonna discard some cards. I mean, we're not pressuring, so our opponent can just wait until they have like 5 counters in hand. Roiling Dragonstorm. And, well, we will make a fish. 17 turn clock. Look out, Omniscience. Look out, Omniscience. Well, you know, High Noon is actually kind of sweet. We'll see if it's enough. Go, fish, go. Found it. Abuelo's Awakening. Gonna go for a temporary lockdown. Well, we will just kill the temporary lockdown. Opponent passes. Oh, they're going to dispersal the fish. Okay. I think we can. We're going to play an Elspeth. This might be too greedy, but we need a clock. We can't just do this forever. Opponent. Land. Oh, it's Blast Zone. That's an issue. Meringue River Regent. But they can't Omniscience this turn. Wow, they don't even bother. Okay. They bounce the Elspeth. Don't even bother to bounce the High Noon. I guess they figured the Blast Zone's going to get it eventually, which is true. Passes. Well, I mean, I guess we have to try to draw lands. We're in, I mean, this High Noon is keeping us sort of alive. More alive than I would have guessed. Copy the token. Draw a card. Can we draw a land, please? No. Ooh, where is our mana? Yeah, 1 spell a turn is all we're going to be playing this game anyway, I guess. High Noon not hurting us at all. Opponent taking up the Blast Zone. Yeah, I mean, that's an issue. That means we die next turn. Felicia Archaeologist. Opponent going to mill some cards. Well, there is every Omniscience. Gets and hits us. We have actually drawn more Elspeths than lands. Yeah, I think that does it. Because then they Blast Zone. But yeah, all right. Fair enough. Looks like I should not lose to the Prowess deck, hopefully. And now we got a Deification to go with our Elspeth, should we ever find one. But Authority of the Consuls, get lost, temporary lockdown. All good if our opponent's doing aggro stuff. Opponent's on the play. Opponent, Battlefield Fjorge. And Optimistic Scavenger, eh? Well, let's lead on the Surveil land. Ooh, we're gonna keep the Elspeth. Hopefully we do not regret that, but opponent planes. I mean, Elspeth Deification is our plan. Well, play the land. I think our plan is just pass and then temporary lockdown. We don't really want a deification and then just temporary lockdown it. I mean, I guess we can kill it. Save a bunch of damage. Well, play the land and let's get down a Caretaker's Talent. Now we'd really just love to draw land for this Elspeth. That would be super helpful. That's a land. Okay. Play the Elspeth. Take it up. Next turn, we get to get down the Deification, and that should be pretty good. So many fountain ports. Well, pass the turn. I mean, once we get the Deification down, the Elspeth is not going to die. Deification on Elspeth. And just to make sure, Deification on Elspeth. This is the most godly Elspeth of all time. Make a lifelink token. Draw a card. Ooh, there's High Noon, too. All right. Feeling pretty good about this one. Get it, hit ya. Gain back a life. So now with Deification, as long as we keep a creature, they can't kill the Elspeth. I mean, I guess the Edict could get it, but I'll play the land. Take up the Elspeth. Draw a card. Well, we might as well play the High Noon. Just in case our opponent was thinking about playing spells. Get in, hit ya. And opponent, yeah, that went pretty well. That went pretty well. The unkillable Elspeth. I mean, I guess our opponent was also kind of like stumbling around a bit, but unkillable Elspeth, not bad, not bad. Sweet. I mean, I will say, so far we've done a, oh no, this hand would have been good too, but punished by the fountain ports. Oh, he has so many of the cards that we want. Oh, all right. Well, this one is actually scary. Opponent mountain. Well, there's a High Noon. That makes me feel a little better. Yeah, we're going to keep the lightning. I mean, our opponent's shown a mountain so far. That makes me think Lightning Helix is probably going to be good. Opponent. Chivalry of Corey Steelcutter. Whew. Well, there's good news, which is, High Noon! High Noon is here. Good luck triggering that Corey Steelcutter, opponent. We have come prepared, opponent. Going to plot a slick shot show off and pass. Well, we will play a land. High Noon is so good against this deck. Opponent land. Gonna plot another slick shot show off. Passes. Would be nice to hit some lands. Eventually they can draw an Into the Floodmaw and bounce the High Noon, and then things become very, oh no. And then things become very scary. I imagine that's what they're playing for, and we're just missing land drops. Opponent passes. Ah, goodness. All right. Well, we might be dead. We're going to play a Caretaker's Talent because we don't want to discard the hand size. If they have Into the Floodmaw, we just die. Opponent passes. Okay. They did not have Into the Floodmaw. Play the land. They didn't have it. You know what? They didn't have it last turn. Archangel Elspeth. Take it up, make a 1/1. Start drawing some cards. Come on. One more turn without Into the Floodmaw. One turn. One turn. Just one. That's all we ask. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Our token is dead. Our token is dead. That is fine. Monastery Swift Spear as the one spell for the turn. High Noon just kind of beats this deck by itself, doesn't it? Well, play the land. Let's take up the Elspeth, make a token. And we're definitely going to play a second High Noon. That means we don't just die to an Into the Floodmaw. Okay, now I think we have essentially locked this deck out of the game. we are standard stacks at the moment. Opponent gonna equip up the Corey Steelcutter. Opponent's gonna opt. Well, in response, we will just Lightning Helix. And how long does our opponent stick around? Oh, this deck is so good against Prowess. Opponent. Land. Well, we find a pound port. Play the land. Take up the Elspeth. Draw a card. Ooh, there's Deification. Let's Deification on Elspeth. And I guess we might as well start leveling up. The way we're going to win this game eventually is probably max leveling the Caretaker's Talent. Opponent going to stock up as their one spell for the turn. Sure. And a bonus. It is kind of hilarious. It is kind of hilarious just how good High Noon is against this deck. It feels like with two of them on the battlefield, with one of them on the battlefield, it's still very good. However, there's always a risk that our opponent could bounce it, pop off, win the game. Especially that game with two slick shots plotted. The odds of them winning if they can get rid of the High Noon are really good. But with 2 High Noons, it feels like our opponent just can't do anything. I don't know how we lose with 2 High Noons on the battlefield. Like, our opponent's deck goes from the scariest deck in Standard to kind of unplayable as long as they're the High Noon out. Well, we might not beat much except for Prowess, but we do beat Prowess. I will give our deck that. Sweet. I mean, we got the High Noon. Show us some Prowess about it. Show us some Prowess. About it, Mountain, and Hired Claw. Okay. I mean, not exactly Prowess, but perhaps close enough. Well, I mean, we can't not keep another Lightning Helix against the mono red deck. Opponent, Rockface Village. And Emberheart Challenger gonna get in and hit us. I mean, this is okay. We take our beats down to 16. Play the land. I think we just Lightning Helix the Emberheart Challenger right now. We don't want it to draw cards. Get rid of it. Hopefully this sets us up for a good temporary lockdown. Opponent, Hired Claw. Gonna get in. Double ping. Down to 16. Monstrous Rage. Alright. Well, opponent gets in some damage. Hit us to 12. The bad news for our opponent is we do have temporary lockdown. And we will lock down these Hired Claws. What's next? Opponent, land number 3 and Tursa Light Shatter. Gets and hits us. Down to 8. Well, play the land. Now let's Lightning Helix the Tursa. And yeah, let's get down the Deification on Elspeth. I mean, we're 1 land away. Hopefully this turn doesn't go too poorly. Opponent, Emberheart Challenger. Wow, another Monstrous Rage. Alright, another Monstrous Rage. Opponent finds a land. Hits us to 3. But we have to temporary lockdown, unfortunately. As much as I want Elspeth, we might be in trouble here. We might actually be dead. Because they have these Rockface Villages to haste stuff in. Opponent. Alright, Soulstone Sanctuary. That doesn't just kill us. Start making tokens. That gives us blockers at least. Opponent. And we got the Lightning Helix left over. Opponent finds a Hired Claw. Opponent. Gonna haste in the Hired Claw. Goes attacking. I mean, we will block and block. Stay at 2. Play the Verge. Take up Elspeth, make a couple tokens. Lightning Helix. Get rid of the Hired Claw. I think we get down the High Noon. Tursa Light Shatter. I mean, the Elspeth tokens are pretty good blockers. We get to block and block. Stay at 5. Well, let's make some Elspeth tokens. I think we just pass those so we can High Noon here if we need to. Opponent. Okay. And gonna haste it in. Alright, opponent hasted in. Let's see what our opponent does. Swings with everything. Well, let's High Noon away the Tursa. Block and block. Tick up Elspeth, make some tokens. Play the Verge. Play the Deification. On Elspeth, pass the turn. This Hired Claw is a bit of an issue. At some point, opponent, gonna pump the Hired Claw. Gets in. Well, I mean, we have to make 2 fish here. I mean, we're dead to a Burst Lightning at the moment. Well, block. Wow. Wow! No, man. All right. Well, Monstrous Rage, number 3. We were so close to stabilizing against Mono Red. Yeah, Mono Red actually way harder for our deck than the Prowess deck because Mono Red doesn't really care nearly as much about the High Noons. It can still be okay, but it's not just like game ending like it is against the Prowess deck. So, yeah, all right. make some Elspeths that never die, and also hopefully not lose to the Prowess deck. All right, opponent, what are you up to? This hand, I mean, we have an Authority of the Consuls. That's something. Not especially close to Elspething. What do you got, Merlin? Mountain and passes. Well, play a land and let's play Deification on Elspeth. Caretaker's Talent could be good eventually. Opponent, all right, here comes the Prowess deck. There's the Corey Steelcutter. We find a land which is good. I think we just play the Caretaker's Talent for now. Even if our opponent doubles spells, we have the Authority, so we're not going to take damage. A little awkward, we might have to temporary lockdown away some of our own stuff here. Opponent to the top. Highway Robbery to draw some cards. Sure, makes the Corey Steelcutter token. Wait, did they not? Oh, they discarded Mistrise Village? All right. Well, let's play another Caretaker's Talent. If we ever find a way to make a token, look out. Slick Shot show off. At some point, we are going to have to temporary lockdown. And opponent, Monstrous Rage. All right. So opponent's going to get in as much damage as they can. Well, let's see what we can draw. There's a land. Oh, play the land. Play the temporary lockdown. This is necessary, although it does hurt to lose the Authority of the Consuls. These have been the saddest Caretaker's Talents of all time. Good news is we're still at 17, so we're not especially close to dying. Well, there's another Authority of the Consuls. That's not the worst. I mean, so far we haven't been losing to Prowess. I'm just saying. We have been keeping up that end of the bargain. Opponent. Burst Lightning our face down to 13. And Monastery Schwiftspia. Passing. Well, there's a Fountain Port. That's actually a pretty big draw. Pass the turn. I mean, we do have to not get one shot by this Swift Spear with a bunch of Monstrous Rages, but the Fountain Port can start drawing us cards off the Caretaker's Talents, which is pretty big. Opponent, Monstrous Rage. So we might actually just have to let this... Yeah, I think we actually have to kill the Swift Spear now. Tectonic Hazard. Okay. Triggers Prowess. Opponent goes to combat. Opponent gets in. Well, I mean, let's kill the Swift Spear. Ooh, all right, there's an Elspeth. That's pretty good. That can also draw some cards. Take up the Elspeth. I mean, the Prowess matchup is pretty good. It's pretty good. Caretaker's Talent. Trigger. And, ooh, there's big Elspeth. You know what? Let's level up this Caretaker's Talent. And pass the turn, and I think we're in pretty good shape. Opponent untaps. I mean, we are the Prowess Assassins. We don't talk about the other matchups. What? A Tectonic. That was a good Tectonic Hazard. All right, opponent. Blows us out. Kills our creatures. Well, let's Elspeth. Make a token. Draw some cards. Oh, there's the High Noon. There's the High Noon. There is the High Noon. Well, let's play Deification. Make sure our Elspeth isn't going anywhere. And opponent scoops it up and... Well, I will say, if you just want to beat Prowess, this deck does get the job done. Our record with this deck is absolutely hilarious because overall, if we run into Control or like Omniscience or something, it's kind of rough because our deck is very, very focused on beating the Prowess deck. So our overall record with the deck, we won 37% of the time, but we're 4-0 against the Prowess deck. We absolutely just crushed the Prowess deck. We're 0-5 against blue-white control-based decks. So we have no chance of beating the control decks, but if we run into Prowess, we're going to beat them pretty much every time. I think the Deification Elspeth plan, it's really interesting. I think it's super cool, although I'm not sure how effective it is. So the downside of the plan is Deification is kind of a dead card in a lot of situations. Like, until we get an Elspeth on the battlefield, it does literally nothing. the upside is, once we have an Elspeth on the battlefield, it is a really good way to protect our Elspeths. And as we saw in some of our matches, like, if we can just keep an Elspeth out and make tokens, make double tokens, make tokens, send everything to there, they are going to win us the game eventually. So it is pretty funny. I do think out of all the Planeswalkers in Magic, Deification does work best with Elspeth out of probably any Planeswalker, just because of how the token production works. So I think it is a cool addition. The Elspeths do seem like good finishers for the deck, but really, the core of beating up on the Prowess decks, Authority of the Consuls, High Noon, Temporary Lockdown, Lightning Helix, that combination of cards, really, really good. And we got to see it be very successful. So if you're looking to beat the Prowess decks, as we wait for the meta to shift, I think this is a really good starting point. Unfortunately, it is very focused on the Prowess decks, and if you run into the other matchups, not as good. And maybe that would be the pathway forward for this deck, would be figuring out a way, if that means cutting some deifications, as sad as that is, because that's the coolest part of the deck, but like, maybe it's cutting some deifications, or like, the Caretaker's talents were a little hit or miss. Like, they're really good once we get Elspeths and Fountain Ports, but we don't have a lot of early game token production, so maybe there's a way we can change up some of that stuff to make the deck just a bit better in the other matchups. But it's going to be tough either way, because the cards that we need to make sure we don't lose to the Prowess, like this pile of cards, are cards that are really bad when you do happen to run into the other side of the format and you run into the control player or a random mid-range player or a brew or something. The same cards that make us so good against Prowess are the cards that make us really bad against the other decks. I guess the other possibility would just be to go full-on card draw mode and be like, okay, yes, we have all these cards that are a little bit situational. They're like S tier against Prowess, but then F tier against control. But maybe if we went to blue and played like Meringue River Regions and so forth, and went kind of that style, then we could discard our cards when they're bad, like in the matchups where they're not as good, which is something we don't really have the option to do with this deck. So I say overall, the deck, I mean, 37% win rate overall is kind of mid, so it's not like super competitive. But if you want to beat the Prowess decks, this does get the job done. This is the answer to the question, what if you build a deck only to beat Prowess? Well, it does work. You can build a deck to beat Prowess and be successful with it. Then we just don't talk about the other matchups, but that is Elspeth Deification. That is our deck that doesn't lose to Prowess. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon.